Hey guys, I'm Adam from the Utopia of Nerd News, and today we'll be talking about Riddick. Now, Riddick is obviously Vin Diesel's, one of his franchises, I suppose. He's got really 3 of them, and he just keeps making into those franchises. Pitch Black was an original movie, I think like 10 years ago, where, it was this dark sci-fi horror movie that was completely just awesome. It was my favorite in the series. And years later, Chronicles of Riddick came out. Now, I know a lot of people didn't like that one because it was so different than Pitch Black. I actually kind of enjoyed it. Granted, I was a kid, but I enjoyed it. It was a fun, action-y kind of movie. It's completely different from the original. Now, this one kind of has an identity crisis between the 2 movies. This one is like a tale of 3 different movies built into one. The first one they use is kind of a lot of things. It's the breaker between the end of Chronicles of Riddick and to where he is now. Kind of the introductions to the main villains, I guess, of the movie, which were the monster things with the cool tails and all that. By the way, I love that scene in the beginning of this movie where he has to learn how to fight against them, and we'll go more into that in a little bit. They introduced like a dog character for him, but it's kind of weird, I guess. I don't know, I really wasn't a huge fan. I guess I didn't loathe it, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. Yeah, I think this part, the one problem it had is it took a little bit too much time up, but I still think it was very important, both from differentiating it from Pitch Black, because, the stranded on an island, Riddick killing people, etc. I think it was good for differentiating it and getting to kind of see the other side of it, where you could see, Riddick going through his problems and just being himself by himself and learning how to hunt and kill. And I don't know, I really enjoyed that part. I thought it was really cool for his character part. And then the middle part came. The middle part is definitely the best part of it. It's when the mercenaries show up and he's taking people out, he's killing everybody, and doesn't care. He just kills everybody, and it's the best part of the movie. Now, the last part I really didn't like. It was really short. It was like 15-20 minutes, and they threw in the monsters from the beginning of the movie all the way then, and they spent the whole middle part like alluding to this massive, huge thing that was going to happen, but it really wasn't that great. Let's be honest, it was short. The monsters didn't seem near as threatening as the ones from Pitch Black, at least to me. And I don't know, I don't know, that part was kind of boring to me, I guess. I don't know. I didn't like the ending a whole lot. And as far as the characters go, obviously the best part about Riddick and how this character can sustain multiple genre types of movies is because the character of Riddick is so cool. It's in my opinion, Vin Diesel's best character he's ever done, and I know it's a character that he absolutely loves to do because he spent all of his actual money to make sure this movie got made. He put a mortgage out on his house, and they're hoping, I know, to get a 4th and a 5th movie both out, and then to round it off, so that will be it forever. But anyway, his character is just awesome. He's an awesome character. He's got the cool, glow-in-the-dark eyes. He's really cool. He's the best part of the entire franchise, is the main character, I suppose that's a good thing to have. Now, some of the other characters. The first one we'll talk about is Katee Sackhoff. I think she was good. I mean, honestly, she's a good actress. She's not great, but she's good. And, I don't know, kind of weird in some points. Like, I hate the way they did her character. In fact, I really hated the way they did her character in some points. Like, how they spent the whole time saying she's a lesbian. Everyone treats her really bad in the movie. And then Riddick's like, hey, you're going to sleep with me by the end of this movie. She spent the entire time telling everybody that, hey, I'm a lesbian. And then at the end of the movie, literally with like no time, it's part of that same like third final phase to the movie that was short and awful that I hated. This was another part of it. And she literally goes from like, I hate this guy, can't trust him, to literally her being like, hey, let's sleep together at the end of the movie. It's like really dumb, and I hated it. It was awkward and weird and awful. The next character is Matt Nable, I believe is how he would pronounce his name. And he plays kind of the leader to the mercenaries, and I think he actually does a pretty good job. I actually enjoyed his parts to the movie. I mean, that's about all I can really say about it, to be honest. He is a main character, which is why I'm talking about him, but it's good, but not bad. It's alright, He did a good job. And the last one I'm going to talk about is Jordi Molla. something like that. I can't pronounce it. I know he's, I believe he's Spanish, so I can't pronounce his name. I didn't look it up ahead of time, so I don't know. But he played Santana. Now, this character is really weird, mostly ruined because of the awful trailer to this movie. In hindsight, knowing that it's awful, because literally the entire movie is in the trailer, and they show him getting killed in the trailer. But like a huge chunk of this movie is dedicated to you wanting to see this guy die, so it kind of gets ruined. You know it's going to happen, you know when it's going to happen, you know how it's going to happen. Now, the writer-director, David Twohy, I know there's some other writers on this project, but honestly, I think that was part of the problem. The pacing is really bad. You know, the first part is really good, but it should have been shortened, not a long time, but maybe 5 to 7 minutes. The middle part was the best part, as I said. The last part was way too short and not enough went into it. The whole movie was built up for this giant climactic moment. When it happens, it's basically the end of the movie and they rush through it. And I don't know, I really didn't enjoy that part of it, as I've been saying. Yeah, I don't know, I think the writing, like, there were parts that seemed like they really knew what they were wanting to do, and there was something good there, but then looks like some people just started writing extra stuff in or something, I don't know. Maybe it's part of their grand plan that they have, because they wanted to have 4 and 5, and this is supposed to be the in-between setup movie. So maybe they like had their main stuff that makes sense to lead on to the final 2 movies, and that's the parts that we're getting. You know, it's kind of really weird, I guess, without watching it, knowing what I'm talking about. But you'll definitely know when you're watching it. But all in all, it's not a bad movie. I think it's pretty good, and I'm glad it's making money. They made this movie pretty cheap. They used green screen, and you can see there's some bad CGI in points. But again, it's not a horrible movie if you just accept it for what it is. Enjoy the middle part of the movie, because that's definitely the best. Let me know what you think. Anyways, guys, I'll see you next time. Have a good day.